Yes, guys, and a welcome from me. This is Championship Manager 0102, the king of the dugout, Preseason/free. Now, first things first, right? We've done so much work this week, me and Mark, particularly Mark on some of the things he's been sending us. I'll go into that at a later date. We're officially now calling this season 5. In case you're wondering, in case you see it. Reason being is, as you know, we did, what do we call it? King of the Dugout 1.1. We did the first 3 seasons in the top flight, then we restarted it all, and we had last season, which we essentially called season 1 again. But we're calling it season 5 because it is our 5th season. But also because Mark's been doing a lot of stats on our managers, that sort of stuff. Again, something I'll go into at a later date. So if ever you see season 5, you know why. So, pre-season 3, let me show you what's been happening in the transfer world. Because yesterday morning, the first pool of transfers, the first of 5, came to a close. And our managers, some of them really took advantage of spending some of their money. Who do we start with then? Let's start with our champion, Jesper Rodman. I've got it in front of me now who Jesper Rodman brought. Jesper Rodman brought in no fewer than 7 players. No one really that jumps out the book, apart from this man, Richie Wellens. Now, we all know, well, anyone that knows the ODB well enough will know that Richie Wellens is quite an assist machine. Now, he's already got Justin Walker, so it'll be very interesting to see how Jesper does. He's brought in Clark Carlisle, Mikael Antonsson. To be honest with you, he didn't really... Dean Keats he brought for a little bit of money, 800 odd grand. Paul Evans, I'm not really sure how good of a player Paul Evans is. I think he'll be a bit gutted to have got him, to be honest with you. So... He's been... Mikael Antonsson's a decent player, but I don't think it's season 1. It's really after season 1 he turns better, which of course is not really the concept. You've got to get players that are going to perform season 1. But you never know if he can get a good season. But he is our champion, and he's our champion for a reason. And I'm not going to I'm not going to dastardise his signings, because I do like Antonsson, and Jesper, he's probably got something up his sleeve knowing him. But yeah, he looks good, don't he? He looks very, very good indeed. Over to, let's go to Mr. Mark Rutgers at Orange is the New Black. Mark Rutgers only brought in 4 players, but there was one particular one who I think is an absolute fucking beast. Again, he does develop really after season 1 too, so I'm not sure how well he'll do, but either way, at the age of 18, look at him, he looks fucking great. Gary Johnson first put me on his tail. He's like a pre-gen of Mo Salah. He looks fucking great, don't he? And he's a good performer. And he's paid out, what did he pay for him? He paid £1.4 million for him. So, yeah, that's that. Over to Connor now. Connor, there was one particular man. Connor's now got all his allocation of non-EUs. It does mean that he cannot buy any more non-EUs. Otherwise, he risks losing any one of his non-EUs to an equivalent ban for the season, and he'll get fined, so he has to be very, very careful. But he made 4 signings, and they were all real stunners. They really were. The first one then was Gomez. He arrived for £1.2 million, and he looks fucking great. I think we spoke about him though, didn't we, Connor? About his position. He's got a 0 in the editor as a side, so that can vary from save to save. We'll see. But the biggest one, of course, again, another one like the Egyptian guy we were just looking at. It might really take a season for him to get in. So can he get much out of him for season 1? But Paul Brozek arrives for £2.2 million. The other 2 signings he got were not to be sneezed at, one of which I'm a big fan, Stephen Pearson. I think he's great. He arrived for 375 grand. The next player I think is an absolute fucking bargain. Ivan Rusev, 190 grand he paid for him. And I think he's got himself an absolute stunner there. So I actually think Connor's done some great business. He's done some great business indeed. And that is our second tier, our second division teams done and dusted. Excuse me. Let's now then go to... No. Sorry, I've forgotten somebody. Sorry. Lee Sharples. Now, you all know, right, if you follow King of Dugout, how it's working on this particular time around, it's all based on the wheel. And Mark's the Wheel of Fortune, the Wheel of Death, the Wheel of Misfortune. Well, Leeds Fritzl Palace, they had the luck of the wheel, didn't they? 10 signings, let me remind you, the guys send 20 players to Mark. Mark then sends them back with the price, what they're going to cost. Having done a season, Mark, he tells them what they're going to cost, and they go back to Mark and say, those 10 players are what I want to bid for. Lee Sharple's got every single player of his 10. Absolutely brilliant. There were some questions about he's offloaded a whole load of players, he's freed up players, he's got a very small squad. You know, I think he shut the critics up. And this one for me stands out. Helder Postiga, what a fucking player. He arrived for only 700 grand. David D.A., great goalkeeper. The reflex is a bit worrying, but great player. He arrived for £1.1 million. As did, oh my days, this guy here, Power Madhu Kar, arrived for £1.1 million. He brought in Stephen Reid. Stephen Reid's an interesting one because he's a very versatile man. Great player to have on the bench. Not sure where his best position really is, to be honest with you. But Stephen Reid, he brought in Clint Hill, who I think is a great player. Clint Hill's a great player. He brought in Mikael Dawson. Again, one of those Swedes. He does really well, very versatile if he's playing back four. But what an assist machine he's brought here in Ryan Williams. He is an assist machine. He's done some absolute great business. There's no doubt about that. He's also brought in Solis as well, who arrived on a free transfer. Pretty decent for a freebie. So Lee Sharples has been busy. No doubt about that. Okay, so let's go now then to... Oh, Mr. Roland FC, our Nottingham Forest fan, Mr. Wayne Chester. And a little bit of pressure for Wayne because it was a bit of a tough season last campaign. He got the sack, of course, and he had an awful run of results. But he's been a busy bee. And I think you look at some of these signings. I mean, he brought in 8 players, and one of which is a CM legend, of course. And he's brought in Tonton Zola Makuku. Now, again, you know, is he too young to start? But when you've got Tonton Zola Makuku, Shane Tolley, and Cherno Samba, do you know what? It would be deadly if we could play a few seasons in game, but we don't, so it's tough shit. But Tonton Zola arrives. He arrived for 690 grand. He brought in Barry Robson as well. Barry Robson, I'm not sure about him, to be honest with you. Simon Rusk was a good signing. Where is Simon Rusk? I rate Simon Rusk. I think it's a good signing. A signing that he did get, this weren't actually on the bids. This was actually a P2P. Jeff Pitcher, great player. I don't think he got game time at Football Heritage last season. So, and where was that other guy he brought now then? Udez and Rosario, I think it was. I think that was it. Let me just try and find them wherever they are. Udez is not too bad. And he got him on a free transfer. And I just felt that he picked up actually a really good deal there. Rosario was the other one. And I think I'm just being fucking blind here, aren't I? Where is Rosario? Am I just being a fucking idiot? I might not even have the right name, have I? Oh, no. It's Helder Rosario. That's why I can't fucking find it, you dipshit. Again, free transfer. So, we'll see, Wayne. Over to one of many people's tipped favourites, Mr. Stuart Danton. Murder on Zidane's floor. He brought in 5 players. Now, there was one of which here that I love, and that is Leo Fortune West. He was priced out of a move to anybody in Season 1 because of his wages, but of course everyone's got higher wage structures now, of course. The only person that hasn't is Adu. More about him in a moment. This is a marquee signing. Now, I'm going to tell you something, right, about Vidic, right? We dropped a bit of a bollock here with Vidic, and I'm going to disclose now what we did and how we rectified it and what we'll do going forward. So when we sent a start of season save to everybody to look at, to analyse, look at players, that sort of stuff, and all the leagues were selected and everybody was in the game. I then simmed a whole season of all the leagues, and then I sent that out again to everybody so they could get a rough idea of how many games people play, how many goals they score, how many assists they get, because that would impact how much they have to pay. That's what Mark does, and that's how he equates how much they're going to cost. Now, I dropped the bollock here because I probably shouldn't have done that, because Vidic is actually a 112 CA. Now, Stuart's available CA is actually only 100. However, he was using the same at the end of the season, and I checked it myself. Vidic had gone down to 100. So, from Stuart's point of view, he didn't do anything wrong. And I told you, it was my fault, really, for sending out a save. So, we agreed, okay, keep Vidic, but I'm going to lower his CA to 100. That was actually the case on 3 of his 5 signings, where they were actually over 100 on the editor, so I lowered them all to 100. So Vidic don't look that great, to be honest with you. But it does also show that when you have a season, a player can go down in CA. And we even checked, right? We checked how many games he had in that sim season, bizarrely. Leo Fortune West obviously wasn't one of them. He brought in Scott Huckabee. I like Scott Huckabee. He got him on a P2P. I think he got him on a free transfer. I'd like to see him get game time. I really would. Nothing really jumping out. I mean, he brought in Wifestead as well. Wifestead, yeah, he's not that great. But we'll see. We'll see how he goes. Over to Chicken Curry. Trevor Choi, he was a busy bee because... Just remember, people can only buy a maximum of 10. That's if the wheel's generous, as it was to Lee Sharples. It was generous to Trevor Choi, who took in 8 players. The highest value being £500,000. Let's do it like that. And that was Lorenko. We'll see. Mishko, we'll see if he's going to... where is it? Yeah, there he is. I'm not sure about him, to be honest with you, and he was his second highest. He brought in some players like, he brought in some free transfers. Barry Miller, Danny Webber, Ian Maxwell, and Lee Harrison. Brian Glasgow arrived as well. Over to Adu, Blasphemians. Now, Adu, obviously, has got a disadvantage. His wage bill is only £1,000. He came into the game, of course, late, and his wage bill is only £1,000. So, it is what it is. And let me remind you that everybody in Division 3 only have a CA limit of 100. Only their loanees can be 120 from their parent club, which the loanees that Adu got are actually decent players. Barry Quinn and Jay Boothroyd. So, fingers crossed. So, let's take a look at what Adu got. He brought in a few players. He brought in 8 players. £275,000 for fuck's sake, for Jonathan Black. No one really that sticks out, to be honest with you. But I don't think his plan was to buy anybody amazing. Because I think he knows, you know, I know what his plan is, Blasphemians, and I hope he does really well. Let me just have a look at one player, though, which was that Italian. Yeah, he's alright. He's okay. Okay, so over to Almo. Almo wasn't too busy, or either that, or he just wasn't very lucky. I think when you get Trevor Choi landing 8 of 10, and Lee Sharp was landing 10 out of 10, there's going to be managers that didn't have the rub of the green. He brought in 3 players, didn't spend much really at all. Stephen Lavelle, Michael Jackson, and Tony Butler. Over to the final man then is Big Phil, Philip Dirala. Now, he only spent, believe it or not, on 4 players he spent 72 grand he spent, and one of which was a free transfer, and the free transfer was a fucking stunner. It really was. And people dropped the bollock here, because let me remind you that last season we had Matt drop out of Inter Yinan and William drop out of Glasgow United. Both of their teams, they were all released on a free transfer, and this is one of them. This was one of them, and Big Phil swooped in there, and you know, and I'm really pleased he did. I'm really pleased he did, because I like to see people almost get a loophole to their rivals. You know, that's, you know, let me now then show you some breaking news as well. I will give you this breaking news. Just need to just bring it up on my okay, here we go then. So let's are you ready for this? That's not what we want, is it? That's not what we want. That's what we want. Okay. Okay, I will get there in a minute. There we go. So I don't know. Fucking hell, that's a bit fucking... Okay, so yeah, you can see some of that, can't you? I know you can't see it all, but I will. So there you see then. That is our banks at the minute. And our breaking news, I don't know if you can work out what the breaking news is, to be honest with you. I'm intrigued to see if you can. But that is that Blasphemians have built their stadium. They've built their stadium. They've got up to 4,000. And these are the remaining bank balances, as you can see. St Helens still got a bit of money. Lee Sharples, I think he had the rub of the green with the 10 signings. He's built on his capacity. He did that at the start. And he's still got a few million left. You know, I'm quite optimistic for Lee. I really am. Sunday Strikers, you know, I mean, he's still got £5 million. Orange is the New Black, still 6 million. Our champ, Jesper, 9 million. Football Heritage, 2 million. Let me remind you guys that are participating, we've got 5 pools of players. Pool 1 is done. Building your stadium will end at the after pool 4 finishes. So yes, you will still have pool 5 to make deals, and the window will be closed for expansion. I've done that on purpose. So we've got some huge stadiums. We really have got some huge stadiums indeed. And over here you can see we've got squad sizes of all our guys. I don't quite know why it's coming up so fucking little there, but who gives a shit? Anyway, let's just get back to, let's just put this back to, let's put that back to CM, yeah, there you go. Okay, so let me know your views, guys. I'm intrigued to know who you feel, well, I was going to say early favourites. I mean, I've got something in my head. I'm not going to disclose it because I believe it can all change. I can say who I think had a good round of signings. I think Philippe had a good round. I think Connor had a good round. I think Lee had a good round. You know, I think there's some players, some marquee players that have been really good. And it'll be very, very interesting to see. The loans, of course, not everyone has opted for their loans as of yet. They've got until the end. They've got until the end, you know. So we shall see. We shall see. Now, of course, people have got to keep an eye on their non-EU rule. Trevor Choi did ask me yesterday after the transfers came in. He goes, can we still release players? The answer to that was no. You cannot release players. So until next time from me, guys, with the King of the Dugout, it's take it easy.